I mean, there are very few cases of a sequel in horror being better than the first, but not normally with something as trashy as Annabelle. Children. Have the doll chase children around, not adults. It's child's play, literally. It is exactly, that was the film that showed us, oh, Chucky chasing around a child was actually really scary. And those films got worse the older the people he was chasing around were. And yet the first Annabelle film had her, well, not chasing, she doesn't actually chase people, but having her face off against fully grown adults. And it, like, I mean, obviously, I, as a fully grown adult, would be terrified of this porcelain doll coming after me if it was, but just on the big screen, it works a lot better if it's children that it's chasing, okay? It's a doll. Annabelle Creation features this girl who, when you track the events of her life, is just about the most depressing character in cinematic history. She is an orphan who gets polio and somehow her life gets worse during this fucking film. Yeah, she's part of a group of orphans who, with their caretaker nun, come to live with this pair of people who, I mean, one of them's bedridden and like it's this big creepy house and it's the creepiest situation ever immediately. Oh, by the way, the guy that they're coming to live with is a doll maker and he made the Annabelle doll. That's all you need to know, really, to link to the events of The Conjuring. So his dead daughter is evil, but not really, and starts to possess the doll, but it isn't her, and then seeks to fuck with this polio-riddled orphan, which makes her just about the meanest demon out there, even for the standards of demons, like polio-riddled orphan. Come on now! And this demon, don't worry, it's not just a doll, it takes all kinds of shapes and sizes. It's a Slenderman thing at one point, it's like this child a bunch of times, it's like a weird faceless nun type thing, even though it's not meant to be the nun demon from this front, they already have that. It's also a scarecrow, so if you don't think the doll is scary enough on its own, like, don't worry, we got you covered. Yeah. And this film is baffling to me, I gotta say, because how is the sequel to a prequel of a good horror film a good horror film? Like, it just... no way in any other franchise that had happened. And the fascinating thing is that this is... it's probably about the arguably third best film in the Conjuring franchise, and it's just such a random one that just shouldn't be, and yet it mostly kept itself self-contained, it had the doll actually chasing children, and it worked well. I mean, it's a pretty good runtime. It's a little long for what it is. It's about an hour 50. I feel like there was a good amount of time for, like, Janice getting possessed. And then they kind of jump basically right into like finale territory, and they stay there for a long time. And there are like sequences which are well done, like the scarecrow sequence in the barn with one of the older girls. That was well done, but it also is like, it's a long sequence where there's no cutaways from it, and then it skips back to like all the action that was going on in the house, which is still just going on. It's quite, I guess, just jarring at times, the way that they try to like do this like little self-contained bit, but in the middle of like this larger finale that's still going on. All these other characters still have a bunch of stuff happening. It's kind of odd, but I do enjoy this film. It's not phenomenal or anything, but it is, I mean, just shockingly strong considering what the first Annabelle film was, and considering that they were just pelting out as many entries in this franchise as they could at this point. It knows how to do traditional jump scares and some slightly better foreboding and things like that. I think the best thing, arguably, about this is just the sense of isolation and the sense of timelessness. That's an interesting point, because it's set in the 1950s, but honestly, you could convince me that it was 40 years on either side of that. It just, you don't see anyone outside of this, and I don't know, maybe there is something in there, but there's not a lot of like technology or stuff that it shows off. I guess it does show a TV at one point, but just sitting there turned off. So there's really not a lot of things about this that would place it anywhere in time, and it also is just really interesting that there is points where they're like taking one of the kids to the hospital and stuff like that, but it never shows anyone outside of the people living on this farm. It's a small cast, and I think that helps build that sense of isolationism and loneliness that is very interesting. I think that's a really good thing to include when you're doing a possession film, because if they've got loads of people around them, I don't know, that takes something away. You know, the whole like demons love to segregate people on their own before they, yeah. I feel like that's important. A lot of these points, though, are just me being nitpicky and acknowledging that this isn't some, like, blow-away, fantastic piece of horror. It's just a really solid job, the kind of really solid job the studio probably was hoping that a lot of their spin-offs and prequels in this franchise would be. They were not. And I love this series, okay? I love The Conjuring. It's one of my favorite horror films, The Conjuring itself. And I feel like as much as I could rewatch almost any of the entries in this franchise, and have seen them all a few times each, I'm also capable of admitting that most of them are quite crap. So this is a really just a refreshing breath of air, and I'm giving the biggest plot twist in this franchise, the entire franchise, was this film being good. 3.5 stars. Yeah, is it third? Is it third? I don't know. I'm running through them all right now. Check out the rest of the videos on the channel. It probably is. Yeah, wow. I mean, I haven't seen the fourth Conjuring yet, but like, probably is the third best in the franchise. Wow.